Real quick, I mentioned the Bill Blues. Is what I call it. When you got Bill on your ass, you got Bill Blues. You know what I mean? And so I did the interview with Ness, and then Bill comes on, and he wants me to get on the show with him. I'm not. That ain't my thing. I don't do that. You know what I mean? So, but I actually was considering it. So I let it simmer, and some time went by, and I didn't realize that Ness wanted me to come on instantly when he texted. So I was like, no, I'm gonna pass on coming on at the same time as Bill. I thought he was just trying to set something up, but I know how Ness get down. He like, you on, let's do it. You know what I mean? Of course. And but that ain't how I get down. But then I go back and I see some video and highlights and stuff like that. And Bill's going at how I dress more than he's going at what I've stated and why I stated what I stated.
So if I can too for a second, I called you about this because they retweeted, hey Sean, look at Shawn Porter. They tweeted at me showing you in a snack thing, right? And I'm like, this is just a whataboutism. So I took the jab to land a right hand. I said, hell if I know, because hell if I know. I wasn't there when Sean was working as hell. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So, but the point is, you're not going to throw Sean being a snack athlete at me to silence me about the truth of the matter. And what does that got to do with what we're talking about with you?
At the same time, if you realize this, you can't hate on the subject that you're trying to put out in front as like, hey, well, he's innocent. If he's not innocent, then what? If he's innocent, then what about us? You know what I mean? So you basically throw me out as the pawn, the example, hey, Sean took us there, But then at the same time, you want to hate on me. So here, this is what I'm gonna do. We did an episode about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I sent notes for the show. And in the notes, I said, we're going to talk about Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. In parentheses, I put, this fight ain't happening. That wasn't for y'all. That was for the team. There's a lot of things that I say to the team that I don't always say to y'all. A lot of offline conversations that we have that aren't supposed to be for y'all. It's not my job to tell y'all what this man is doing, even though I know what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, it could prevent him from being able to maneuver the way that he wants to maneuver in a sport that you have to have. You have to have plan A, B, C, and D in terms of how you're going to maneuver in this thing. It's not my job to shut off plan B and plan D, and now all he got is A and C to work with. That's not my job. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that go on in this sport, not just with Bill Haney, that I realize and I know what's going on, and I just don't say nothing. But this time, it came out. So I'm going to answer to it, right? It didn't make sense to me, and I've said this before, that the fight wasn't going to happen, right? So then we fast forward, and when he start calling out Brian Norman Jr. about doing the testing, and everybody's hit me like, yeah, you said that they was going to back out. You said that they was going to back out. Well, slow your roll. They're not backing out because they're afraid. They're not backing out because they don't think they can win. This just wasn't the fight that they wanted. That's all I was trying to say. I'm not trying to say I don't believe in Devin Haney. I'm not trying to say I believe so much in Brian Norman Jr. It's just not the fight that they wanted. I saw that, and even though I voiced that to my people, now y'all got it, right? So if anything, just take and understand that, hey, SP know a little bit more than y'all realize. And no, I don't play stupid to it. I just don't speak on it. But since we here, and you want to call this man and tell him sign up for drug testing right now, or we're pulling out of the fight, Vada not gonna show up as soon as he pushed the signed button. Vada not showing up the next day, and they might not show up the next week. So why would you put so much heat on this kid about drug testing? I understand the sensitivity to it.
Well, we had Big Smoke on, right? Before the fight, that was
Big Smoke.
Or who was
you talking about?
D-Smoke. D-Smoke.
Oh yeah.
Well, remember he said one thing: when you dictate to another fighter a whole bunch of times, eventually you start to strip him of something heading into the fight, because now you got him. D-Smoke put it better than I could, but you got him walking the way you want him to walk, coming into the ring when you say you come into the ring, and you start to not feel like the champion that you are getting into there. Maybe
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that is Adrian Broner versus Shawn Porter. There was nothing that AB was going to say that was going to shake me up and bother me. Same thing with Brian Norman Jr.
Gotcha.
My man's still talking about, I just want to go on vacation.
Right.
And I love what he said. He said, this ain't the only thing that's in my life. My life ain't just boxing.
I didn't know how to feel about that.
I loved it.
Yeah, but do you think Floyd Mayweather or Canelo Alvarez would say that, or Manny Pacquiao? That my life isn't just I get it. Nobody's life is literally just boxing.
I chose not to because I felt like I didn't want people to question. You
didn't want to say it out loud.
I didn't want to say it out loud because
Right.
I didn't want anybody to just look at me any different. Yeah, look at me any different.
Yeah.
You know. But at the same time, it's a truth.
Yeah.
And he told his truth, and I told my truth. And if you don't think the truth hurts or you don't think the truth is real, the fact that this man gets on the Boxing Voice talking about the way I dress, more than you talking about the issues at hand, it lets me know that you're a little bothered that you hear truth. When people hear truth, they attack, they get defensive, or they do the other thing, which is, you know what, you're right. I'm going to humble myself and say, okay. So that's all it was. My man heard truth, and he didn't like the truth that he heard. I didn't mean for that truth to get out the way that it did, but it is what it is. But you got to deal with this now. I think, like Ness asked me, I think they try to get ahead of the promotion and all those other kinds of things, and it ended up backfiring on them. And now they in a fight that they might not have wanted tomorrow. They might have wanted that fight next week or next month, not tomorrow. And now this is the next thing for them, you know?
We're setting up a great foil. For if Haney can win this fight, put on a great performance, he'll really have, proved a lot, and we'll have to give him a lot of credit. He could very well do that. I can't wait. This fight, I'm looking forward to maybe even more than Canelo Crawford. I am actually. Two young in their prime fighters. One of them has been to the top. He wants to show people that's who he still is after Garcia, what happened there and everything. Norman is knocking on the door. He's an underground king trying to blow on the mainstream. Yeah. So I can't wait for this fight. This is going to be a hell of a fight.
That's the perfect way to put it too. He's the underground king.
Yeah.
And this dude done sold 1 million.
He's already went platinum.
He done went double platinum a couple times,
Look, Brian Norman's trying to 50 Cent Ja Rule him.
Yeah.
He's trying to be that hungry up-and-coming rapper who knocks you off, takes your spot. You know? Yeah.
So hopefully that clears everything up. Definitely don't mean to throw shade at the Haney team. It was a truth that, just kind of came out. But answer to the truth. Don't attack and don't, go the whole disrespectful route. I know Bill. I know he always liked to be fun and things like that. It's beautiful. It's great. But, don't bring it at me because I'm doing the best I can to advocate and change this thing.
Do you know why it's good you didn't get on and argue with him? Because you're not going to win an argument against Bill Haney.
No.
I know that.
Bill
you know that.
Going to talk you down.
We're not. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
so
talk you down.
we talk on here and say what we got to say. And